Welcome to New Wave Global. I'm Rabia Mahmood. New Wave is an independent news site which looks at the world through a South Asian lens and relies on your feedback and support. Please do subscribe, like, comment, and also engage with our work. Pakistan's Supreme Court and Parliament's security was breached yesterday on Monday when supporters of religious Islamist parties tried to storm the Supreme Court as a protest against the bail which Supreme Court had granted to an Ahmadi man in February early this year. This case was heard by the Supreme Court's Chief Justice, that is the Chief Justice of Pakistan, Qazi Faez Isa. Since then, we have had a very severe disinformation campaign and a smear campaign, which was being carried out online, then in the parliament, and then in public. Islamist parties have been at the forefront of this campaign. And we've also had right-wing commentators and journalists who jumped onto this bandwagon, including YouTubers. Also, what we've seen over the past few months is the Tehreek-e-Labbaik Pakistan, the leaders of which, it is a far-right political party, have gone to public and in public gatherings have openly threatened the CJP and have incited violence against him. In fact, even offering head money if someone were to target the CJP. And this has been going on, and the law enforcement has failed to curb this incitement fully. At the same time, the mainstream media has also not helped this matter and has fanned the flames of this fire and have contributed to amplifying this disinformation campaign. And it looks like that there has been a political game which is being played in the country under the garb of this one case. To speak more about this, we have with us advocate and a human rights expert, Mr. Asad Jamal. And Mr. Jamal has also represented victims of such false accusations, that is, of blasphemy. So he truly is an expert on this matter. Mr. Jamal, thank you for joining us. Can you please speak to us firstly about this case, which the Supreme Court is going to be hearing again on the 22nd? This is a second review. The first review has already taken place. Do you think that such a case can be heard, or any case can be heard second time in this manner? Is that legally possible?
Well, constitutionally and legally, this does not seem to be tenable. It doesn't seem to be maintainable. And I have seen the petition as well. There is nothing which has been pointed out to justify for seeking yet another review from the Supreme Court of Pakistan. So I think it will be thrown out of the window by the Supreme Court on the mere ground of maintainability.
But there is so much pressure at the court on the court at the moment. Apparently, there's been a special session which has been called in, and there have been debates in the parliament previously. And like I said, the mainstream political parties have jumped in are taking position on this. Everyone's trying to distance themselves from this. We have seen that the law enforcement has failed to curb this incitement, which has been going on for months. There is video evidence of open threats to the CJP, and that's what also happened yesterday in Islamabad by another leader from the JUIF, who has also been at the forefront of this campaign from the very beginning. So, so what do you have to say about what's happening? Yes, maintainability is on one side, but there is extreme pressure. It's like a big political game being played through this case at the moment in the country.
Yeah, the legal technicalities aside, this development is social and political in essence, and I think it's very, very worrying. And I think all concerned citizens should take it seriously, think about it. And the government of Pakistan, the state of Pakistan, needs to come out clean on this controversy, which has been generated by the right-wing extremist elements in the politics and on the fringes. I think it's not just a question of safety and security of one judge. That, of course, is at the heart of the whole controversy, but it is much more than that. It threatens the very basis of independence of judiciary in this country. It also runs the risk of, scuttling the criminal justice system in a very major way. I also feel that this National Assembly session, which has been called tomorrow, may also become a stage for declaring the Chief Justice of Pakistan some kind of a maloon, or he will be, the target of discussions at the floor of the assembly, and that is something which will be very, very unfortunate to happen. I think the government of Pakistan should not allow that to happen. The speaker should take charge in a firm manner, and should not allow any discussion which is not done within the boundaries set for parliamentary debates. The judgment of the Supreme Court, which is at the center of this controversy, is sound so far as legal reasoning is concerned. And the original judgment, which was given in the month of February 2024 by the Chief Justice of Pakistan, that too I think is very, very reasonable judgment, and there is nothing legally and constitutionally wrong. In fact, there are quite a few other similar kind of judgments, and these judgments are based on a 1993 precedent in which a five-member judge, a five-member bench of the Supreme Court decided various questions in the appeals heard regarding Ordinance 20 of 1984. So that issue has been settled for quite some time. Now this judgment authored by the Chief Justice of Pakistan, Qazi Faez, relies entirely on that major judgment of 1993, and there is nothing extraordinary about this judgment, except that it reiterates the fundamental rights of one particular minority who has been declared non-Muslim under the Second Amendment to the Constitution of Pakistan. I think if you go a little deeper, if you read the judgment, the original judgment, and the review, one can sense that the secular institution of Supreme Court of Pakistan, while deciding this particular case of Mubarak Sani's bail, has actually tried to claim or reclaim religious ground as well. Because while interpreting Article 20 of the Constitution of Pakistan, which pertains to the freedom of religion and conscience and thought, he also relies on Quranic verses, and it has been very expressly pronounced in that judgment. In fact, both the judgments, the original as well as the judgment in the review, that the Article 20 is in fact grounded in Islamic tradition of tolerance, and it has been expressly stated that there is no coercion in Islam. On the basis of that kind of reasoning, Ahmadis have been, once again given the freedom to at least practice worship their religion or whatever rituals they follow within the boundaries of their residences or their own four walls. So privacy, yeah. So privacy has been reiterated. Privacy as a right and as a way, as a means to pursue personal freedoms of religion has been reiterated. So I think it is this reclaiming of sorts of religious ground by a secular institution which has perturbed the extremist elements in the political parties as well as other fringe groups like TLP,
JUIF and others. I will just jump in and also get you to expand on what you have touched upon a bit. Is the environment in the climate in which the lawyers and judges operate when it comes to these cases? You've represented victims who have been accused of false cases of blasphemy or other religiously discriminatory accusations, and so have selected other lawyers. So and you've seen up close what happens in courts, in secession courts, in higher courts, in the Supreme Court when it comes to these cases. How do you think all of this targeting is going to impact the lawyers who represent these who choose to or represent such victims, and the judges who sometimes do give respite and do give bails to people or do acquit people? So that's what I'm interested in knowing, because we've seen that in Karachi, for instance, the Ahmadiyya are struggling to get a lawyer to represent any of their, someone from their communities, because we have such laws and there are such cases are filed quite frequently against people. How do you think it's going to impact this? The seeking of justice in the country?
Yeah, I think it's always a Herculean challenge to, have a competent, able lawyer to represent in cases like these. Um, uh, I mean, I don't have to repeat, it's a long story. Judges work under pressure, in fear, the trial judges especially, because they don't have the state's backing for them to feel secure. Lawyers too, work under pressure. And it's a kind of a stigma to represent anyone who has been accused of blasphemy in this country. It's not taken as creditworthy work. So far as my experience is concerned, it's a very niche kind of group of people who are able to appreciate the kind of challenge these cases pose for the life and safety and security of lawyers, as well as the judges. But even otherwise, at the higher level, high court judges are also scared. So they calculate, this on the basis of the available facts and circumstances, whether they should proceed to grant relief to the victims of false blasphemy accusations or not. So I think we work in a very, very fragile environment in which we are always under threat. But this latest development and this controversy around Mubarak Ahmad's case, I think this poses an even bigger threat to the independence of judiciary, to the, earlier we used to be able to get relief from the Supreme Court, not without difficulty, but I think this is going to become far more challenging now. I think we are now on a path where we can reach a stage, I fear, that some, grossly bizarre kind of false accusations of blasphemy may be upheld at the Supreme Court level. And this will be the most unfortunate thing to happen, because then we will have absolutely no hope to look forward to.
Mr. Jamal, thank you for joining us on such short notice, and thank you for giving us your insights into this grim matter. And thanks to our viewers for watching. Khuda Hafiz.